Yo, what's good to the Wave Shapers tribe? I hope you guys are feeling good and blessed, whichever day you choose to watch this video. I am coming to you from beautiful Waikiki in Honolulu. I'm feeling super blessed to be here. I got invited by some friends to come out to this trip, an all expenses paid trip, and I'm just enjoying it, to be honest. So today's topic is a little bit different than some of the other topics. We're actually going to go into some very practical advice and perspective. All right. Whenever we do videos about advice and perspective, particularly about anything, but in this case, it's going to be about the music industry, about the arts and entertainment industry. You guys know that here at Wave Shapers, we love all artists, and that's mainly who all these videos are for and who this podcast is intended to. But I have a special place in my heart for those that are creating music, films, and fashion. So I was having a conversation with a good friend of mine. Shout out to Lex. It was good, Lex. He's here with me in Hawaii. And we were having a conversation about the music industry, and basically he said something to me, and he put it in words, something that I have been thinking about for a long time, that really just, the way he said it was just awesome. And that's what we're going to talk about today. So he said, we're talking back and forth, and he said, yeah, because when you're doing that, then you are paving the way to your own disappointment. Paving the way to your own disappointment. Now, let's break this down. When you're an artist, right? So I'm going to particularly use, in this case, music so that I can go into specifics, but the specifics of music, don't let that take away from the overall principles, because you can apply everything that I'm saying to every form of creation of art and content creating. And you can even apply it to other things, just regular business, right? But when you are a musician or when you're an artist and you want people to relate with your music, connect with your music, you want people to hear your stuff, right? We need to be careful, because we can slip into patterns and into ideas that basically pave the way to our own disappointment. And I'm going to make another video where I go into the whole process of what I believe is the correct way to approach the time, effort, energy, and money resources that it takes to create your music. If you guys want to hear more about that, let me know in the comments. Go over to Rue Gracia IG and Wave Shapers IG and DM and say, yo, what's up? Talk about this, talk about that. I'm an artist. Let me know what you think about this. I'd love to share my perspective on that, if you guys want to hear it, right? But that's a whole nother video. I want to particularly talk about the proportion between the potential of a certain piece of content that you're creating and the amount of resource you put into creating that particular piece of content. So this is how the conversation went yesterday with my friend and I. We were talking about a specific artist, right? I'm not going to say no names. I'm not going to say no genres. I'm not going to say anything. But this particular artist is in the production of an album. And I started asking questions back and forth. And I was saying, okay, so do you know what the overall budget is for the album? This particular artist happens to be signed, but even in the case that somebody's not signed, if you are, let's say, producing an album, or you can take it to producing a song, there's a limited amount of resource that you can pour into that, both because of the availability of that resource and also time restrictions, right? So let's just give the example to keep it easy and kind of round numbers, that you're going to produce an album and that there's $10,000 to produce this album, whether that money's coming from you, your personal bank account, or that money's coming from a label or an investor or whatever. Let's say that there's $10,000. What I was telling this person is that if there's $10,000 to produce an album, I would say that the majority of that, right? And the majority being what? 60 to 80 to 90% needs to go directly into the creation of the actual consumable product. Unless that actual consumable product, that content is already done for some reason, but then that's not basically calculating the production of it in the overall budget. So what do I mean by that? Where do people go wrong? I think people go wrong. I think artists go wrong. Again, this is my opinion, but if what I'm saying resonates with you, then I want you to think about applying this to your particular business or your particular trade or your particular content that you're creating, right? I think people go wrong in that I have $10,000 to make an album, to create an album, to write the songs, to produce it, to mix and master it, to put it out, and to market it. Let's say there's $10,000 total. I think people go wrong when they say, oh, I do everything on my laptop in my house, so basically the actual creation of the music is not going to cost me anything but time. I'm going to make it all, I'm going to record it all, I'm going to mix it all, I'm going to master it all, and then I'm going to spend $9,000 or $10,000 of those dollars, the majority of that, into marketing and into pushing it out and into whatever. Look, I think that's like the biggest mistake ever. Because at the end of the day, all those other things, from marketing to filming the music video to money that you're putting into ads to all that stuff, those things are accessories. I'm not saying that they're not needed. They are needed. We know that in today's day and age, freaking marketing is so important. And I think it's like 80 or 90% of all the songs that gain serious traction, they like blow up on TikTok, and we can get into all the specifics. I'm aware of that stuff. I know that money doesn't come from streams. All right, but separate from that, what you are making is music. So if you are leveraging all of this stuff to pour into the marketing and into the music videos, but the music itself still has a gap of it could have been better if you would have leveraged more resources into it, then you're making a fatal mistake. Because let's take a very successful band. I'm not saying that they're personally or emotionally or spiritually successful, but by earthly, commercial, monetary status, I think we can all freaking agree that Maroon 5 is an incredibly successful band, right? Adam Levine, incredibly successful artist. All right, Maroon 5 has had God knows how many hits on the radio, has made God knows how many millions of dollars, knows how to write songs, knows what the formula is if there's a formula. Like, they've been there and they've done that. And still, when they go to produce Sugar, yes please, when they go to produce that, if you look up the credits of who's on the production of that song, there was 12 producers. 12 producers. And these are not 12 producers like the random dude down the street that has a freaking MacBook and he's trying to go hard, on Fruity Loops. No, bro. If they were in the room, if they were going to even potentially get a piece of the next Maroon 5 smash hit, they were bringing something to the table. Even if it was just an opinion that everybody else respected, they were bringing something to the table. And they got 12 serious music industry dudes with experience, freaking probably all LA guys, or they flew in people, whatever, to be in the room to leverage the majority of the resource into the actual production of the song. Why would somebody have 12 producers? Why? Because that team that was assembled for that production, whoever was executively producing it, and when you're an independent artist, you are your executive producer. Whoever was executively producing it said, if these 12 humans agree that this song is a smash, this junk is a smash. If they agree that it's in the right key and sung in the right way and they use the right samples and it was mixed by the right person, if 12 people come into agreement on the way that we produce this song, we're giving the song the best chance that it has to be what it's supposed to be. Now, why do I bring that up as an example? Because that's Maroon 5 making that decision when they already have money, already have experience, already probably have 5 other dudes that are great programmers, and they're gonna send it off to Manny Marroquin or to Spike or to Michael Brower. I don't think Michael Brower is still mixing those, but anyway, they're gonna send it off to the best mixer in the world to then get mastered by the best, to all of that, and they're choosing to leverage into the actual creation of the product. How much more us, when we don't have the connections they have, don't have the money they have, don't have the track record they have, don't have the experience they have, why do we think that it's okay to be like, nah, I have $10,000 for an album, I'm just gonna produce everything by myself, never get a second opinion, never work with anybody else, I'm gonna mix and master everything, and then I'm gonna spend $10,000 on a music video? It's so backwards, it's so wrong. That is the equivalent of if you're opening up a restaurant and you have a certain amount of budget, that you invest 90% of that budget into the aesthetic of the restaurant and making sure it looks cool and making really cool ads, but then you didn't invest money into the chef, so you got a crappy chef, so the food is bad. The food has to be good first. That's the number one thing. Bro, I'll go eat at a hole in a wall. I'll eat from a food truck if the food is freaking smashing. It's the same thing with when we're creating content, when we're creating art. Is the song good? Is the script right? Is that right? Because leveraging all this other stuff when you still had capacity. Now, if it's as good as it could have gotten and you worked with whoever could have strengthened the song, strengthened the melody, strengthened the writing, strengthened the production, if you max that out, then yeah, whatever you have left, then you invest into the other aspects of the sandwich. But until you have maxed that out, don't polish a turd. Don't polish a turd. My studio partner told me about polishing turds a long time ago, and I'll never forget it. Because when I first started recording, it actually wasn't when I first started recording, but when I first started recording with him in our studio, sometimes I'd just record something really fast, I'd sing something really fast, and then I'd like ask him to mix the crap out of it. I'm like, bro, like mix it like amazing. He's like, bro, I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna polish a turd. You didn't put that much effort into your vocal take. Why should I put that much effort into mixing it and reverbing it and this and that? And that concept never left me. And I just want to challenge and encourage whoever's hearing this message to potentially flip your business strategy, because if you're an independent artist, you are the executive producer. Even if you're not an independent artist, you're still the executive producer of your content because it's coming from you. So flip your strategy if you're doing it wrong. And this is an encouragement and a confirmation to your strategy if you're doing it right. Leverage everything you have into those songs that have the most potential. Potential for what? Potential to fulfill whatever it is you're trying to fulfill in the music industry. You get what I'm saying? If you want to be the most indie, strange, weird artist and you don't care about how many people really hear your stuff, then go ahead. Freaking produce that junk on your iPhone and don't give a crap about it. But is that really what you want to do? Or do you want as many people as possible to resonate and to connect and to have an opportunity to hear this art that you have poured your soul into? And if that's the case, we should definitely make follow-up videos with this. I actually have to go in a second, so I'm going to cut off the video basically right here. If you guys want to hear more about this, let me know in the comments below and whatnot. But it's better to, let's say you have 100 hours over a year to invest into music. These are just round numbers. It's better to invest those 100 hours into the one song that has the potential to change your trajectory in the music industry than to invest 10 hours each on 10 songs and not maximize any one of them. Okay, so then the question becomes, how do I know which song has the most potential? And I have to tell you, you're gonna have to get some second opinions, man. Pray, believe, that the creator is gonna unite you and connect you with people that are good at that. I'm getting better at that. I'm not even that great at that. I show my music, the songs that I'm about to invest a lot of time and effort and energy into producing, to a few people, to one person particularly, which is my studio partner, and 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 I trust him. And when he says like, bro, this song has way more hook and way more potential than the other one, then I start investing more into to the one that has more potential. All right? Don't polish a turd. Don't spend more money on the accessories than on the core product. And set your goals. What do you really want to do with this thing? Wave Shapers, I love you. The world needs you. Don't be discouraged if you've been burned by the music industry like I have. Don't be discouraged. Find your true purpose, find your true core, find the reason why you're doing what you're doing. You've been given that gift for a reason. Don't give up. Stay tuned into Wave Shapers. We are going to the top of the mountain. I love you.